Experiencing a malfunctioning car air conditioning system can turn any drive into an uncomfortable ordeal, especially during warmer months. While a trip to the mechanic is always an option, understanding some basic diagnostic steps can save you time and money, or at least help you describe the problem more accurately to a professional. Today, we're going to walk through the common symptoms and systematic approaches to pinpointing what's gone wrong with your car's AC. Before you begin any work on your vehicle's AC system, safety must be your top priority. The AC system operates under high pressure and contains refrigerant, which can be harmful if it comes into contact with skin or eyes, or is inhaled. Always wear appropriate personal protective equipment, including safety glasses and gloves. Ensure your engine is off and cool before reaching into the engine bay, and never disconnect refrigerant lines yourself unless you are properly trained and equipped for refrigerant recovery. Let's start by identifying the most common symptoms you might encounter. Is the air not blowing cold at all, or is it only mildly cool? Is the airflow weak, even on the highest setting? Do you hear unusual noises, like hissing, clunking, or squealing, when the AC is engaged? These initial observations provide crucial clues that will help guide your diagnostic process, narrowing down the potential culprits before you even open the hood. Our first practical step is a thorough visual inspection under the hood. Begin by checking the serpentine belt to ensure it's not cracked, frayed, or loose. A slipping belt can prevent the AC compressor from engaging correctly. Next, locate the AC compressor itself. With the engine running and the AC turned on, observe if the compressor clutch is spinning. If it's not, or if it cycles on and off rapidly, that's a significant indicator of a problem, potentially electrical, or a low refrigerant level. Also, inspect all visible AC lines and hoses for any obvious signs of leaks, such as oily residue or damage. Moving inside the cabin, let's check the interior components. Make sure your AC controls are set correctly, temperature set to cold, fan speed appropriate, and the air distribution set to the vents. Sometimes, a simple setting error is the cause. Also, consider the cabin air filter. A clogged cabin air filter can severely restrict airflow, making your AC feel weak even if the cooling system itself is functioning. Locate and inspect or replace it if it appears dirty or obstructed. One of the most frequent reasons for a non-cooling AC is low refrigerant. Refrigerant is the lifeblood of your AC system, responsible for absorbing heat from your cabin and releasing it outside. A low charge usually indicates a leak somewhere in the system. While you can purchase DIY recharge kits, simply adding more refrigerant without addressing a leak is a temporary fix and can sometimes mask a larger problem. However, checking if the low-pressure switch is preventing the compressor from engaging due to insufficient pressure is a valid initial step. While low refrigerant is common, an overcharged system can also cause issues and even damage. Too much refrigerant leads to excessively high pressures within the system, reducing cooling efficiency and putting undue strain on components like the compressor. This can manifest as poor cooling, strange noises, or even compressor shutdown due as a safety measure. Never blindly add refrigerant without understanding the current pressure levels, as this can be dangerous. To accurately assess the refrigerant levels and system pressures, you'll need a set of AC manifold gauges. These gauges connect to the high-pressure and low-pressure service ports on your AC system. They provide critical readings that tell you about the health of your system, indicating whether the refrigerant charge is correct, if there are blockages, or if the compressor is working properly. Using them correctly is key to a precise diagnosis. Once connected, observe the low-side gauge reading. If the low-side pressure is significantly lower than specified for your vehicle and ambient temperature, it strongly suggests a low refrigerant charge, likely due to a leak. Alternatively, a low-side reading could indicate a restriction in the system, such as a clogged expansion valve or orifice tube, preventing proper refrigerant flow and heat absorption. Consult your car's service manual for specific pressure specifications. Now, let's look at the high-side gauge. If the high-side pressure is excessively high, it could point to several problems. An overcharged system is one possibility. Another common cause is a restricted condenser, often due to dirt, debris, or bent fins, which prevents proper heat dissipation. A malfunctioning condenser fan can also lead to high side pressures, as air isn't being drawn across the condenser efficiently to cool the refrigerant. If your compressor isn't engaging, it's essential to check the electrical system. Start by inspecting the relevant fuses in your vehicle's fuse box, typically labeled AC, AC clutch, or similar. Also, check the AC relay. You can often test the relay by swapping it with another identical relay from a non-critical system, like the horn, to see if the compressor then engages. Finally, inspect the wiring leading to the compressor clutch for any visible damage, corrosion, or loose connections. The compressor is the heart of your AC system, circulating the refrigerant. If you've ruled out electrical issues and proper refrigerant charge, the compressor itself might be faulty. Symptoms include loud noises like grinding or squealing when the AC is on, a clutch that won't engage, or a clutch that engages but the system still doesn't cool. In some cases, the compressor might even seize, indicated by a strong burning smell or a shredded serpentine belt. Beyond the compressor, other major components can fail. The condenser, located at the front of your car, can become clogged externally, as mentioned, or internally, restricting flow. The evaporator, hidden inside the dashboard, can also develop leaks, which are often harder to detect and can be expensive to repair. A common sign of an evaporator leak is refrigerant smell inside the cabin or water leaking from under the dash that isn't just condensation. Weak or no airflow from the vents, even with the fan on high, often points to issues with the blower motor or blower motor resistor. The blower motor is responsible for pushing air through the AC system and into the cabin. If it's completely silent, it might be a fuse, relay, or the motor itself. If the fan only works on certain speeds, especially high, the blower motor resistor is the likely culprit, as it controls the fan's various speed settings. If you've identified low refrigerant as the issue, finding the leak is the next crucial step. Professional shops often use a special UV dye added to the system. After running the AC for a while, a UV light can reveal glowing dye at the leak site. Another method involves electronic leak detectors or sniffers, which can detect refrigerant escaping from fittings, hoses, or components. Addressing the leak is paramount before recharging the system to ensure long-term functionality. Diagnosing car AC problems can range from simple visual checks to more intricate electrical and pressure analyses. By systematically working through these steps, you can often narrow down the problem significantly, or at least gain a better understanding of what's happening within your vehicle's air conditioning system. Remember, if you're ever unsure or uncomfortable performing a repair, it's always best to consult with a certified automotive technician who has the specialized tools and expertise.